I'm Claire Thomson, I'm a chef and a food writer, and I'm here at Everhot cooking some of my favourite family recipes from various books and newspaper articles that I've written. So I'm going to cook a date and chickpea tagine here. Very simple, using store-cupboard ingredients, pretty thrifty to make and quick and easy. It's a good lunch number really, or food to feed a crowd. So into a pan I'm going to add a good couple of tablespoons of olive oil. And I'm going to put this on the solid top to get hot. In go my onions. Get them going for about 5 minutes to soften before you add the garlic. So I've got about 5 cloves of garlic here. I'm making a tagine, so I want it to be really pungent with flavour. And I'm going to add an assortment of spices. And the good trick to this recipe is I've got some big fat wrinkly medjool dates. I'm going to blend them with some tinned tomato, and it's going to make this classic sort of characteristic sweet savoury sauce for the tagine. A tagine can be a dish, the dish itself or the vessel that it's cooked in, and I'm just cooking this in a good cast iron pot. Get that going. Give that a good stir. I'm going to add a pinch of salt to help soften and quicken that process. Okay, I've got a little food processor here, blender, food processor, whatever you have to hand. Don't forget to take your pips out. So I'm going to use about 6 to 8 dates. You know, a tagine should taste beautifully spiced. Ooh, wrong way around. It should taste beautifully spiced, fragrant, and have a sweetness from dried fruit. That's classic. So this is a vegetarian tagine, so just chickpeas. Just makes it really economical and quick to make. It's a good one. Also, this freezes beautifully. Make double the recipe. Have this in the freezer. It's a quick, speedy weeknight supper. So, tin of tomatoes. I've got some pulper, but chopped or plum. It doesn't matter because you're going to blend it anyway. In go my tomatoes. On goes the lemon. Okay, the onions have been cooking for about 5 minutes and they're softened but not coloured. Then I'm going to go in with my garlic and cook that for about 2 minutes more till it's fragrant but not coloured. I've got a small bunch of coriander here. I'm going to use the leaves to decorate the tagine when we come to serve it, and the stalks are going to go in with the spices to cook. So a good bunch of coriander stalks. In they go. Okay, with the onions and the garlic all soft but not coloured, so about 8 minutes in total. I'm going to add my spices because I want to toast these for about a minute just to get everything really going flavour-wise. So I've got some ground coriander, about 2 teaspoons. You can measure it if you like, but I'm pretty okay with this. Again, about 2 teaspoons of cumin, ground cumin, give or take. Cinnamon can be quite persuasive in cooking, so I would add about half a teaspoon. And some ginger. about a teaspoon. That'll give a nice heat. Then you're going to fry all that off. I'm using this hot plate here because I want to get everything quite toasty roasty before I add the tomato puree. So, I don't know, about 10 seconds of grinding of black pepper. That again will give a deep heat along with the ginger. I've got my blended tomatoes and date mixture here. So that just goes in like that. And then just help things along. You can just add a splash of water. Half a wine glass, 125 mils, just to get the liquid going. This is a vegetarian, vegan tagine. Bit of water should do it. And a bit of salt. Okay, with this all bubbling, beautifully seasoned, spices, dates, tomatoes, coriander stalks, in goes my chickpeas. This couldn't really be any easier as a recipe. It's a great lunchtime number. Minutes to make. So I'm going to pop this in the oven at 200 for about 30 minutes. It doesn't need any longer because the chickpeas are already cooked. You just want all the flavours to meld and come together and the tomatoes to become rich and fragrant with the chickpeas. And then, meanwhile, we're going to cook some couscous and I'm going to serve this with the chopped coriander and some harissa. Right, so we're going to do some toasted couscous. Toasting the couscous just gives a real nuttiness to what essentially can be a little bit dull sometimes. So I'm going to do a cup of couscous in a really hot pan. And I'm going to just fry that literally until it goes nutty. So you need the hot plate, you need to keep shuffling it. It'll take a while to start, and then as soon as it begins to go nutty, you need to be on it all the time, shuffling the pan, but it's not scary or anything. So you're going to use the same quantity of boiling water when you come to put this in. 1 cup of couscous, 1 cup of boiling water. Salt. Couscous can be very dull sometimes. Bit of salt. You're adding the same volume of boiling water, giving it a bit of a lid on straight away, and off the heat. So our tagine's been in the oven for about half an hour. I'm going to whip that out. Smelling pretty good. Looks beautiful. That's good. That's hot and the sauce is reduced nicely. I've got some pickled lemon, preserved lemons here. They're salted lemons, classic in tagines. So they're very salty. So you might want to taste the tagine and see where you're at with seasoning, remembering that that will add extra salt. It's really good. So, to use these, I just take the pip out. Some people discard the flesh, but I think that's silly. It's a waste. So you just want to make sure there's no pips. One should do it, they're quite pungent in flavour. So I'm going to thinly slice 1 whole lemon, flesh and pith. It smells like lemon turbocharged. In this goes to the tagine. This is tasting perfect. So we've got our toasted couscous. You can see the little holes popped up like little molehills over the surface of the couscous. It's good to go. Just give it a quick mash all over with a fork like that. Smells really good. There we go. It's like super fluffy couscous. I'm going to serve this bit of couscous. I think this is easily served 4 as a sort of light lunch, or you could do it as a starter. So some couscous with some of the tagine. Oh my goodness. Pop that back on here. Then I've got some coriander. Remember we used the stalks to add to the cooked down onions and spices. And then you're going to add the leaves to garnish. I like a bit of extra fresh lemon because what fresh lemon brings is a kind of juicy acidity, different to the salted lemon, which gives that deeply sort of citrus, salty flavour. Some fresh lemon, always the way. Dribble of olive oil. And then I've got some shop-bought harissa here. Harissa is a North African condiment that's hot. You would serve it as a seasoning thing with dishes like tagine, so it's made out of peppers and chili. And this has got rose petals in it, so rose harissa. This is just, you can get this readily available from most big supermarkets. And you know, where you've added spices to the tagine, you haven't added chili, and this brings a kind of chili serving suggestion. Wowzers. So generous. So we've got date and chickpea tagine with toasted couscous, rose harissa, and lots of coriander.